Deviljho versus Espinas is a fight on paper looks like it's very interesting, but in actuality, it's pretty much a bad matchup entirely. But today we're actually just gonna break it down, explain it, and yeah, let's actually do this. So to start off, we're gonna start off with base on base, right? Average Deviljho versus average Espinas, right? Now this is actually pretty simple because I don't have to do well. Where do these guys rank, right? Where's the tier of these guys? Well, because these guys are pretty simple. They are both Elder Dragon level monsters. I mean, Espinas was actually the first recorded evidence of of an Elder Dragon level monster, with him actually being able to fight Kushal Daora for 3 days straight, or probably just an insummable number of days. I heard it was like 3 days apparently to the lore. But again, Espinas itself was able to beat Kushal Daora in 3 days, and obviously we understand that it just had the overall capabilities where it's just able to take down a Kushal Daora via physical strength, poison, and, well, massive amounts of adrenaline. Yeah, believe it or not, Espinas flashing the red on its wings is just simply its adrenaline kicking in here. And then you have Deviljho. Now again, going by base to base, they would still scale to the likes of Rajang, who's actually able to handle Elder Dragons. Again, even like the basic ones here, like Val Hazak, Teostra, Lunastra might be a little bit of a mid-tier Elder Dragon, considering she is stronger than her husband. But then you also have Elder Dragons like Nergigante, even though Nergigante actually just, kind of beats them both. In all honesty, it's just not even funny comparing to the lore. But again, at the end of the day, they are Elder Dragon level at the end of it, with Rajang obviously being the main scaling point for a base level Deviljho and requiring its full power. But now let's talk about the capabilities of both here. Espinas is actually a lot more dangerous than Deviljho in this department because, again, he is covered in poison quills. Deviljho himself really doesn't have too much when it comes to like the armor department, and its biology is, it's fine. It's his standard biology and stuff here. But compared to Espinas, he doesn't have a lot of defenses, if you guys get what I mean. Espinas is covered head to tail in poison. Even its wings are covered in poison. Even the little barbs on the side of its wings are poisonous. This thing is just oozing with don't touch me vibes, okay? Meanwhile, with Deviljho, he does have his dragon breath and stuff like that. But again, keep in mind, when he bulks up, he actually does start exposing a lot of his older wounds to his opponents, meaning someone that's actually capable of damaging him can actually cut those wounds open a lot deeper. Okay? Meanwhile, Espinas's only weakness is the fact that he kind of starts off the fight lazy. But again, when you are a carnivore that just really is ladled or literally just riddled with the likes of various amounts of venom and poison, you kind of earn that little bit of a lifestyle, if you will. So, with that being said here, I think that honestly covers them both. I mean, they have impeccable leaping capabilities as well, but let's talk about it. Believe it or not, in a natural sense, or at least putting them both in just a arena where they can just go at each other one-on-one, I'm going to favor Espinas at the end of the day. I think Deviljho is physically stronger. That's good. However, he cannot bite down on Espinas without getting underneath its neck. But again, that also puts him in Espinas's reach of getting poisoned. And again, you could say Deviljho is as strong as you want, but again, this is poison at the level where it's able to take down an Elder Dragon. Okay? Espinas is capable of taking down an Elder Dragon with the amount of poison it has. Keep in mind, yeah, you might say, oh, that's a weakness, but again, there has to be a certain level to it. You're not going to see a what's it called? Nercilla's poison take out a Kushal Daora. You get what I mean? You're not gonna see a, some basic creature with venom take out an Elder Dragon because it has a weakness to it. No, that's not how it works. You gotta have it at a certain level and a certain potency in order to be able to take these creatures down. And Espinas also likely has better stamina than Deviljho. As I said earlier, he's able to fight an Elder Dragon for days. Now, you might say, okay, well, what if Deviljho uses his Dragon Breath? Okay, then he might be able to weaken Espinas to a certain extent and then possibly be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess you could say probably go for the jugular at that point. But again, Espinas could likely just take a more defensive stance, and then even utilizing its own tail, which is again covered in poison spikes. You see, the problem with this fight is Deviljho is in a bad matchup. He has to get close. He has to repeatedly get close. As again, Dragon Breath is a very taxing thing on his metabolism. Meaning the more he uses it, the hungrier he's going to get and the more tired he's going to get. Which is why Dragon Breath is very much a last resort. Savage Deviljho can get away with this because it has a much more overflowing amount of Dragon Breath due to its cannibalistic nature and eating everything on a Deviljho. If it really kind of just skipped over the dragon sack and stuff like that, I think it would be fine. But it just didn't. It's unfortunate, but it didn't. And in all honesty, I would definitely have to say that Espinas flying could also avoid it. Plus, there's also the combination of its attacks. Espinas's fire breath abilities deal both poison and burning damage, meaning every attack Deviljho is getting burned and poisoned. You might say, oh well, wouldn't Espinas start off the fight lazy? No, I don't think he would here. You see, Espinas does recognize its threats and stuff like that. You see, when it fights Kushal Dayor, it immediately flushes itself with adrenaline so that it's gonna have the best chance at being able to win the fight. I actually see the same thing here. It's very possible Deviljho would likely do the same thing as well as it does with Diablos. Okay? Because again, Diablos is a very strong opponent. If you guys saw my Ray Dow versus Diablos video, you understand that peak male Diabloses are capable of taking down Deviljhos. And Espinas, believe it or not, I would probably say ranks a tad bit higher than Deviljho when it comes to the Elder Dragon level pecking order, which is why I had it slightly above Joe in my top 10 Elder Dragon level monsters list. Again, it just ranks slightly higher because it just has the better capabilities and the better, I guess you could say better tools to actually be able to take down an Elder Dragon. Meanwhile, Deviljho's is simply brute strength and the Dragon Breath itself. Not saying it's not an effective thing here, but again, against something that can likely kill you back and likely has a bigger chance at fighting you and stuff like that, I don't really see Deviljho being able to take down Espinas. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. What about Savage Deviljho versus Flaming Espinas, right? Does Deviljho win that one? Can he get a dub on that one? He's got a better chance. This is probably a bit more equal, but again, he still can't bite down an Espinas. He has to really utilize that dragon element, but again, Espinas is more of a nuke at this stage as well. And he's a lot more active and a lot more prone to moving and pretty much still getting up in Deviljho's face. Deviljho's dragon element is definitely going to be a main factor here, and I definitely can see it goes either way on this one. This one is far closer than the original one. It's far closer than base to base, and I do think a Savage Deviljho would be able to beat an Espinas high difficulty, or at least mid difficulty, with him still sustaining a lot of poisonous injuries. But a Flaming Espinas is absolutely no joke. That laziness goes out the window, and its adrenaline is already ready and ready, just ready to go. Like, it's already active and everything. And the amount of, like, nuclear attacks it can do on Deviljho, even with the dragon element, kind of cements the fact that it is capable of taking down something along the lines of this kind of caliber. So, well, I think, honestly, I don't think I have to do much in this video to kind of prove that, right? I mean, if you guys want my real explanation, I do think Savage Deviljho can take down a Flaming Espinas, but again, Espinas can easily evade a lot of the attacks, is a lot less reckless than a Savage Deviljho, and again, Joe being in that state here is still draining its own metabolism and stamina. The reason why Savage Deviljho is so difficult is because it's really putting everything it can into actually taking you down. It puts everything it has into trying to kill you. Okay? Meaning that Deviljho is actually burning a lot more energy the more the fight goes on. Which is why, again, it's a lot more easier for us to take him down, believe it or not. So at the end of the day, I am going to have to give it to Espinas more often than not. Its defenses are better covered. It's definitely faster due to its flight capabilities, and it has better long-range capabilities that are not as risky for it to use as Deviljho, who would actually get poisoned the moment he tries to bite down on Espinas, and Espinas would just likely capitalize on it. So that's going to be all today, you guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.